Viewer discretion is advised.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the New to Wrestling podcast. This week, we watched the May 12th, 1997 edition of Raw is War, and the match card is as follows. In our opening contest, we had Ahmed Johnson taking on Hearst Helmsley with Chyna in a first-round King of the Ring tournament match. And next we had Leif Cassidy taking on the debuting Scott Putzke. The Legion of Doom takes on two members of the Nation of Domination. The Undertaker takes on Savio Vega. We have I guess guest appearance from ECW's Rob Van Dam taking on a very young Jeff Hardy, which is fun for me. And in our main event, we had a four-way tag team elimination match between the tag team champions, the Hart Foundation, the Headbangers, the New Blackjacks, who we haven't seen in a minute, and Doug Furnas and Phil LaFawn, who are in the middle of a little heel turn situation we got going on.
Yeah.
So
they didn't even get to be baby faces for more than like 6 minutes.
That's because apparently nobody was paying attention to them. So
except us. I'm sorry.
We were.
Check the track. I was all over it, but whatever.
Apparently they're unable to connect with the WWF audience. So okay.
Stupid.
Sorry, everybody that has to put up with us. So, but TBH, you clicked.
I was just gonna say you chose it, so I guess you're just like us. Welcome.
Yeah, you're here for the ride.
Welcome to the asylum.
Welcome.
Check in. Leave your shoelaces at the door.
So, if you tuned in to the Yokozuna episode, which we know you did, you know that our Cold Day in Hell pay-per-view episode got lost.
So upsetting.
I am affectionately going to refer to that episode from here on out as the lost episode.
It was indeed a cold day in hell, but for Xavier.
Yeah, no, honestly, I remember I was at work. I was in my work. I edit a bunch of million other shows and videos and things, which takes up space and memory and whatever on a computer, as it does. And me being the diligent worker that I am was trying to clear space on the computer so that I could continue to make other people's projects and things, and and I accidentally just booted our episode right on in there. And it is my own doing, because after we recorded, it was late, and instead of just naming the file something that I would be able to see, I just dragged it onto the desktop and left it alone.
Oh.
And that's on me. That's on me. You live and you learn. You live and you learn.
It's a bummer because you were doing like the right thing. Like you were like keeping the computer clean, like doing some housekeeping, and then for some reason got punished for it, and hate that.
It's all right, just the way of the universe. But
it wasn't a great review anyway.
No, yeah. All in all, as far as like the pay-per-views we've seen, it was a bit lackluster.
It was underwhelming, to say the least.
The majority of the like matches were either like spur of the moment, or there wasn't like any build up. And honestly, like the commentary team was really carrying the whole pay-per-view.
No, so, like, I said it's crazy when Jerry is the best part of the pay-per-view, and the pay-per-view is called A Cold Day in Hell. Like there are certain expectations I felt needed to be met, and Jerry was the best part, and that's just crazy. I will say it is like it'll only live in me and Xavier's memory and hearts, but because it's only sad because since it was like not the best pay-per-view in our opinion, we've roasted it alive, and to us that's just funny. Like we were just
absolutely.
There was an out-of-pocket thing said, and maybe that's why the universe was like, this has to go. This can't be out in public. It's gotta go in the trash where it belongs. So
that's all you need to kind of keep the plot going.
No, actually so true. And then Ahmed Johnson didn't take down the Nation of Domination.
Right.
They're still fully functioning. That's literally it.
Yep.
That's it.
That's it. So we're gonna start with this one. So this episode starts with a, as most return episodes after the pay-per-views go, you get the recap, you get the still pictures, you get the commentators doing their best to kind of give you that like here are the side effects of medicine like really really fast kind of speech as the video
Yes.
just goes like over. God bless them, they're working hard trying to
They
get
earn that
everybody
check.
caught up.
Mm-hmm.
And the match or the show starts with the Heart Foundation, as we are in a very Heart Foundation heavy time period.
Era. Yeah,
Yeah.
wheelchair Brett and the gang.
Yeah, honestly, Wheelchair Brett and the gang really running this show, not gonna
For
lie.
real, for real. They are at the top and bottom of like every episode recently.
And honestly scattered throughout also. So
Sprinkled throughout as well, yes.
100%. It's like I don't know, like salt. Just keep adding more. It's fine.
Yep, you season with your spirit.
I have a note that just says Owen Hart holding all 4 titles is crazy.
Just like this.
Yeah.
Like basically Raven, but like
he looks
and
looks
the Slammies
like a
too.
golden eagle. Just like, like
the plumage is chrome.
What animal is like really really like into gold or like shiny things? Isn't there like an animal that's like
the only one I can think of is like the one from Harry Potter.
like the Niffler?
Yes. That's the only one I can think of that's coming to mind, which is a problem.
Okay, Owen Hart is a Niffler. Pass it on. I don't know.
No, actually, honestly, no though, because the way he steals Slammies is Niffler coded for real.
And I love the way, like, I love that the Bulldog can't even just like hold his
own title.
his 2 titles.
His own titles. That's crazy. No, literally, it's 4 or 2 belts on each arm, and then the Slammies just in
at
fists.
The end. I was like, if you drop that man in an ocean, he'd drown.
Right to the bottom. Right to the bottom. That is so funny.
Yeah, honestly. So I just love the visual. Every time it gets me, I'm just like, why? I was like, there's so many of you. There's enough gold for each of you to hold for
one.
each of you to be holding a piece of gold. And yet you guys are just like, nah, give it to Owen.
And you know what? That is the right answer.
You're correct.
That is the right answer. They knew.
So the promo begins with Bret Hart basically just being like, I would take these men into the mouth of hell and fight devil himself. And you're like, okay. And then we find out that Brian Pillman is actually in the Nation because throughout the entire pay-per-view, the Hart Foundation had front row seats that they had scalped, which is crazy because they worked there. So
yeah, that's wild.
We got to talk to Vince. Like, why nobody gets like some freebies? No one gets like
It's time to renegotiate the contract because that's honestly
if you are in a position where you have to scalp tickets, also scalping pay-per-view tickets day of to get front row seats, as if
I said this 5 in a row in the front row and you scalp those day of, you're lying. You're lying. If you're going with 3 people, liar. You're all sitting in 3 different sections waving at each other
100%
and hoping somebody leaves so you can sit next to your friend.
Absolutely. What you're doing is you're waiting until all the little security people have checked the seats and you're waiting so that you can all just look at each other and then bolt it down to the lower level.
100%. You know, right. The vibes. And I know Wheelchair Brett wasn't doing that. 5 seats in a row in the front. That's crazy. Whatever.
Yeah. So the Hart Foundations are bold-faced liars. So no, but basically we find out that it was like confirmed that Pillman is a part of the Nation because the whole time during the pay-per-view he was like, I'm not part of the Nation. I'm just like with them. Like
I just pray for them for 2 hours straight.
No, 100%.
On the regular.
And I'm like, wait, like the pick me energy, if that was the case, is psychotic. That is like, if I can't have you, nobody can energy.
Absolutely.
Right there.
Ew. You know he really does give that for sure. And he also gives that energy of like annoying little brother who like really wants to play with his older brothers and like they're just like, go away, Brian, and he's like, nah, man,
but we already have one of those. It's called Owen. Like
I know, and he does it so much better. Like, Brian, go away.
I know,
hate it.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, you have 0 of the context of Brian Pillman's career to even put up with any of this nonsense. Like 0.
No, it's so true, and that's
I at least have the concept of like knowing the tag team that was Steve Austin and Brian Pillman and like seeing that whole spiel. So it's like I at least like at the end of the day, like he annoys me to no end during this time period. But I like I'm just like, oh, but he is talented. You have none of that.
None. I'm
you're
just
just like
just pure rage for no
no, yeah,
reason.
absolutely. And like
Unfounded and unsolicited.
not unfounded.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much for I needed that. Thank you.
um So Brett continues on his tirade, basically being like, it is pathetic that all of you are trying to make me out to be like the bad guy. The way this man has just been soapboxing since this
Yeah.
heel turn is hilarious. They really were just like he thinks he is what's that one guy in Les Mis? The one that's like rallying all the troops, waiting for that one French guy to die.
Oh my God. But oh my God, my father would be so disappointed. I don't know this off the top of my head. He's gonna be livid.
The way I watched like the 25th anniversary, whatever the one that Nick Jonas was in, but like
25th.
yeah, I've just seen it like on repeat. I was like the only and the thing is like he is the worst part of the whole thing.
Oh my God, he's
The worst part of the whole
horrible.
thing.
Oh, what a say, Nick Jonas. They should have never done that to him.
But
It's terrible
the but
because
the
Leah Salonga is like there. Like, don't
right.
have Nick here.
Like, I was like, that's crazy. That's
What a
crazy. And
tangent.
because he sings like he's from the Jonas Brothers, but like he's very
Yes.
much so in the context of Les Mis. So it's just like, what are you doing?
It's like the Jonas Brothers covering the most emotional songs about the French Revolution you've ever heard. And like
Like,
it
don't give
shouldn't be that.
no, 100%. I was like, you cannot give me that Jean Valjean and then Nick Jonas. Like, that's crazy.
Okay, period. Even that Javert, like what are we talking about? I can't
I don't
remember
know,
that
but this
guy's
is a
name.
wrestling podcast, so we have
Yeah,
to
wait,
get
sorry.
off. No, no,
Also,
no.
but yeah, quick sidebar, my dad's absolute favorite musical of all time is Les Mis. And yes, my dad loves musicals. Let's not go
Hmm.
there.
I love that. I remember being very surprised the first time I got into your father's car in middle school. I don't know where we were going. I'd probably a concert.
Anywhere, yeah.
Um, and he was just blasting show tunes. I was just
Showed
wasn't
loves
like
it,
was not what I was
loves.
expecting.
And he's a big like Mediterranean, like bald Mediterranean man. He looks very scary. And he is like Lady Gaga's his favorite.
Such a girl dad.
Such a girl dad, big girl dad energy. And he had cassette tapes of musicals. Like that's how old his car was. Like just cassette tapes.
Yes. Yes.
Crazy.
Love that. Love that. Anyway, so essentially that's what Brett is giving. And
Yeah, he's rallying the troops for the French Revolution.
truly. So then he goes like he's like, why are you trying to make me the bad guy? The real bad guys are, your Shawn Michaels and your Stone Cold Steve Austin. And then he goes on to describe Stone Cold Steve Austin as a babbling ass with worn over Texas cliches and barnyard overtones. And if he wasn't bald already, gone, gone,
Oh
gone, wig
my God.
blown. You're
We
kidding.
were shocked. We were so shocked. We went back and watched it again because I was like, what did he just
No,
say?
we paused it and
Barnyard
went barnyard overtones.
band name.
That's crazy.
Barn
That
Texas
hurts. You didn't even
Texas
say it about me, and I said ow.
No, that's crazy. What was it? Texas slang with
It was a babbling ass with worn over Texas cliches with
I
barnyard.
would go home. That's hurtful. Like
That is
I know I'm Stone Cold Steve Austin, but I'm like, okay, I have to call my mom and I have to go home. Like that's
right.
really mean.
There is like a reassessing of my entire foundation to do.
And minimal cursing. Those are the ones that really hurt. Because you can call anyone
No,
a
absolutely.
but if you read me with G-rated language, I have to go home.
No,
Like
absolutely.
there's no
That's why
coming back.
whenever I used to like not like people would be like, why do you like to read? But I was like, I always used to just be like, when I insult somebody, I want them to be left confused. Like I
Yes.
want to use language that is just so beyond them that they just don't even know that they were insulted. Like that is why I
Absolutely.
read.
That is why I read it, and that is why
Like,
you children should read too.
absolutely, 100%.
Uh,
It's like, are the books they're handed to you at school? Honestly, some of them are better than you think they are. Just kind of read them. But um, if you for anything, it is so that you can eviscerate your enemies. And Bret Hart,
absolutely.
case in point.
I mean,
Like he kept it simple, but that's using your
vicious.
words.
That's
That's
volatile. That's volatile.
Mhm.
And I loved it.
And then to juxtapose that nicely, it cuts to a sign in the crowd that says the hearts are farts.
With like a very like intensely drawn heart farting
Right. Yeah,
with
yeah.
like big
And
cheeks
it's
and
yeah,
everything.
and it's hearts are farts like the same way toys are us. Like like
Thank God.
like
Amen.
just so you all get the visual that it was this like just absolutely crushing insult followed by hearts are
And
farts.
sometimes, and that's why that's beautiful, because sometimes you eviscerate them with language, and other times you just go right for the hard part. You go right for the
Listen,
simplicity.
low hanging fruit is low hanging fruit.
It's still
So
ripe.
um so then Bret Hart goes on to be like, oh, like what kind of guy like picks on somebody in a wheelchair? And then he starts like trying to make it like him sound like making us he wanted us to feel bad for him. We do not. And then he addresses the Undertaker, and he's essentially just like, "Oh, the Undertaker, I hope that you don't get too attached to the title, because once I am back, we know where that is going into the, the rest of the glittering pile of gold." I was like, "What are you, Smaug? Like, get a grip."
Swear to
Um,
God. Oh, that's a good visual too.
yeah, of him like the Heart Foundation just sitting on top of a giant mound of
A
gold.
treasure trove. Yep.
um and then Brett alludes to having a surprise, and he's like, "Oh, like everyone's going to want to hear this, and we're all going to be riveted, and blah 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 blah." The crowd could not be less interested, and
It's
that
me.
really just kind of upsets Brett. So he's like, "Never mind, like take me out of here," and like him and the boys like go to the back.
And wait, just to clarify, and I know we'll get there, but like he never reveals the surprise, right?
Never reveals the surprise.
Yeah, that's
Never
annoying.
reveals the surprise.
That made me
We
mad.
literally never find out. Honestly, the I think the only reason we got the tail end of the episode that we got is because they went back and like added it.
Really?
Y- In the we'll get there. We'll get there.
Okay.
Um So, in our opening contest, it is a first round match of the King of the Ring tournament. We are full circle, baby. For those of you that know, this show started the Monday Night Raw after the 1996 King of the Ring, and we have now just begun the 1997 King of the Ring. So it's
Woo!
Triple H taking on Ahmed Johnson. Ahmed Johnson's ass is prominent today. I don't know if he added, it seemed like he added another knee pad to his legs, as if he
Yeah.
didn't already have two more than usual. So that the pads just went straight up to the cake. It was like just building like a
The
wall of support.
the dam, it's the Hoover Dam, but for Ahmed Johnson's bodacious ass. I said it looked like he was wearing assless chaps, but it was just
Mhm.
made of knee pads. It was very bizarre, but I'm not complaining.
No, not at all. JR, much like yesterday, was really getting into the wrestler sob story, backstories. Really likes to mention when they come from strife, let's just say. um, he
Stripe.
honestly, like if your life is just more riddled with strife, JR like cannot stop. He's gonna bring it
Drooling.
all. He's like giving you like a expose, like just on commentary, or at least he
It's
thinks he is,
crazy.
because
Yeah.
like he
Yeah, he thinks
really
he's really doing something, and we're all just like, is now
this
the
is
time?
superfluous information
Yeah,
for a
like now's
wrestling
not the
match.
time.
Right.
Now's not the time.
So yeah, we learn about apparently he was abused as a child, and he was a former gang member, and essentially the gist of it all is the whole pick yourself up from the bootstraps kind of deal. And you're just like,
Mm.
okay, but like just say that.
Just say, and here's the thing, it's not that I don't want to know about Ahmed Johnson's
No.
life. I absolutely do. Just not in this context right now.
Right.
It's odd. It like the way it's presented is odd. Like it just feels like a weird like afterthought slash here's a fun fact, and it's not necessarily like a
It's not
fun
that
fact that was
fun.
his life. Yeah,
Right.
like it was his childhood. Like I don't it's just weird. It's really
Yeah.
weird.
So Ahmed Johnson is very vocal in this match, mostly because he is big pissed, coming off of his loss to the Nation of Domination. So he's had this overarching goal for however long, and he
Mm-hmm.
fell short. So he is in none the best mood. So Ahmed Johnson starts out just absolutely dominating Triple H. It's too much man, too much muscle, too much aggression from the rip. And the match like mostly continues. It really starts to get in um Hunter's favor like halfway through. It doesn't
Mm-hmm.
like it is really Ahmed Johnson for the early part of the match until he makes like a very small mistake. Triple H capitalized, but the match it ends with Chyna attacking Ahmed Johnson with a steel chair, thus causing a disqualification, which
Mm.
means Ahmed Johnson wins the match, thus continuing on into the tournament, which was big stupid
So
on
stupid.
Triple H's part because hello, you're in a tournament. You have to
Like you
win to move on. That's typically how tournaments work.
and like having your little lackey here, who I do love, but having her over here beat Ahmed with a steel chair is a pretty obvious disqualification. Like at
Yeah,
least like make it maybe like a little
like
more
on the
subtle if you
sly,
want
like
to cheat.
something.
Yeah, like but she just like, literally basically waited for the ref to look at her and did the smack smack. And I was like,
Right, bold.
and then they ran for their lives because they knew the retribution would be swift.
And Ahmed Johnson chases them up the ramp.
Mm-hmm.
And Ahmed Johnson gets hands on Hunter, but Chyna being Chyna, standing by her man, she comes up behind Ahmed Johnson and starts choking him out. So,
Mm-hmm.
which is, and Jerry on commentary is like, she's like, that's a real woman, which I just thought was great. I just thought that was
Great.
so funny.
Love.
Um,
Jerry was one of the girls today.
oh, for real. But it just shows like she does not care. She does not care who you are. Like she don't care how big you are, how tough you
Mm-hmm.
are. She's standing by her man.
And
You're
she's
opposite her man. Problem. Love to see
problem. Oh my God,
it.
seriously. I mean, she's coming for your neck, quite literally.
Amen. So Ahmed Johnson moves on in the King of the Ring tournament, and Hunter is seemingly eliminated. So
Mm.
we'll see what the rest of the tournament bracket looks like as we continue. And then obviously this will culminate in what'll be our next pay-per-view, which will be the King of the Ring pay-per-view. So next we have a promo from Stone Cold Steve Austin. He lost his title shot against the Undertaker the night prior, so another one not in the best moods, although he was in
Mm.
a seemingly like better mood than I thought he would be. Like I thought it
Yeah,
was gonna be
period.
worse,
Yeah, so did
to be
I.
honest. So basically he comes down to the ring and he's like, I'm not gonna make any excuses. He's like, that got crazy. I got dropped on my head. I lost the match. He's like,
Mm.
fine. Which is for what he could have gone into with the chicanery that was the
Mm-hmm.
match yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
Sure, all right, we love a man that takes responsibility. Sure. He
Love.
says sooner or later I will be the champion. And he's like, if I say it, it will come true. Stone Cold invented manifesting. Who knew? That's
I mean,
crazy.
what is more of a manifestation term than, and that's manifestation term then, and that's the bottom line because Stone Cold said so. I
Right,
mean,
right.
queen of manifestation. I just didn't realize like, and
No,
we're seeing it in real
honestly.
time come to fruition. Astrology girlies, you should be thanking your leader.
What
Crazy.
also what's the phrase? It's like say it, like achieve it, or say it, like do it. I don't know. It's like a some phrase I cannot
It's like a
remember for
live,
the life
laugh,
of
love
me.
kind of thing.
Yeah. It definitely like is on a throw pillow
It's
or
like if you
something.
can dream it, you can do it.
Right. Well, reach for the stars.
No,
Um,
reach for the moon. Even if you miss, you'll land among the stars.
that is
Am I
my
right,
least
girls?
favorite quote of
It's
all time.
horrible.
It
It's
is.
all bad.
I find that to be the most uncreative and a little bit demeaning just motivational saying. It's just you'll probably fail, but like you'll do all right, is what I gathered from it.
You won't be that upset. And also, like, even like astronomically speaking, or astrologically, or whatever, like, it's not even true. Like, if I miss going to the moon, I'm not gonna like be among, like, I'm just
You're not
going.
suddenly among stars. Also, stars are further than the moon.
They're also, guys, stars are dead. Like,
I was like, what? Anyway,
sorry.
just my gripe with that poor expression.
It's
Take it off your
horrible.
throw pillows.
Stop macrameing it.
Right. Take it off your planners.
Your
Girl bosses everywhere. Stop. Like, you'll be
like,
okay.
keep doing it, but don't do that.
No. Keep doing your thing. Obviously, just don't do it with that quote.
Yeah, no, you can do so much better than that.
No, 100%. There's many more people with better quotes than that.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we're moving on. So, basically, Stone Cold is in the ring swinging Bret Hart's crutch. He's just got Bret Hart's crutch as a little token, like a serial killer just saving souvenirs from his victims. Basically, he's like, so if Bret like wants to like roll his ass down here, we can square up. I don't care. Essentially, he's like, he then asks like Vince McMahon, he's like, have you ever like killed a snake before? Like, have you ever like, which is a crazy thing to ask Vince McMahon of Greenwich, Connecticut.
It's a crazy thing to ask literally anyone. Like, have you killed a snake before? Doesn't usually come up in, your casual conversation.
Yeah, true. But
it is Stone Cold.
Well, exactly. So essentially he's like, what you do is you take your shovel and you cut the head off. So what I'm going to do, he's like, I'm not going to do that though. I'm not going to do the normal, like, just go for the heart, go for the jugular. He's like, no. I'm going to start with the snake's ass. He's like, Brian Pillman.
Because obviously it's Brian Pillman.
Because Brian Pillman got very involved in his match the night prior. And he goes, I've crippled you once before, and I carried you he's referring to WCW, but he calls it the Bush Leagues. He's like, I carried you through the Bush Leagues. And
Crazy.
You know that when you're standing on the opposite side of Stone Cold Steve Austin, like, you're in for your life. Like, and I love that. I love that because it's a knock at WCW, which we know how Stone Cold feels about that.
Love.
It is a knock at Pillman. It is a nod to their team. So like, if you know, you know. And then for those of you that didn't, if you didn't know, you did see Stone Cold just annihilate Pillman's knee with a chair. So like, either way, you've been kept abreast that they do not like each other.
Right.
So I love it. I love this promo. It was short, sweet, to the point, and I thought it was a really good visual for just kind of what's going on.
And I love referring to Brian Pillman as a snake's ass. You're not even a snake.
I know.
Snake's ass?
They
That's
can't even
crazy.
Have that. They just have like a claw. Fun fact.
I'm learning so much today.
I know.
I'm learning so much.
But I have had so much caffeine today that I think it is just all just like now, because I'm not even drinking like a caffeine. This is mint tea. Like, this isn't even like anything.
This is all,
this is
just coming from within.
God bless. So next we have Leif Cassidy taking on Scott Putzke. Scott Putzke is the son of Ivan Putzke. Again, very big in that era, that like that 70s.
Very big is
an understatement. He's a very, very big
in all roidy aspects.
Looking man. Yeah.
Oh my God, so big.
Ivan's son has the worst hair.
Oh my God. This man needs a deep conditioner with the breakage and a leave-in so bad.
Someone told him to straighten his hair and like didn't tell him how to do any of the maintenance
to put a heat protectant in it, and like he just
just seared to high heaven.
It's
But
so crisp. And we said that we were going like, oh God, he needs something. And Jerry goes, I think he needs a haircut. And I was like,
immediately,
Jerry,
it was like the
thank
perfect timing.
you.
We were just dogging his hair, and Jerry like on cue, as if he was sitting in the room with us, was just like, I think he needs a haircut. And I was like,
And we were like,
yes, bitch, that's exactly what he needs. Period per.
I mean,
So,
thanks, Jerry. I literally was like, Jerry is so one of the girls today. Like,
amen.
he's like, Scott needs a haircut. And we were like, amen, Jerry.
Right, 100%. The crowd is dead. The crowd is not
De-
interested in this. Like,
Not at
I have
all,
never
girl.
heard more match noises um than during this.
Oh wow. Now that you say that, yes, the boots
I
hitting
heard
the
every boot. I heard every slap. I heard every like footstep in the ring. Like, it was just, the crowd was just bored. They said bathroom break and they left. Like, they were not here with it. And I get it because,
hmm
one, this is somebody you've never seen before in Scott Putzke, so you don't even know if he's worth it. And then somebody you see once every like 6 weeks in like Leif Cassidy, whose
hmm
tag team partner left a year ago, never mentioned.
hmm
Like, it's not like anybody has a vested interest in Leif Cassidy. Um,
hmm
because why would you? They've given us no reason to.
It's so true.
So
We were watching him and we were like, Leaf, hang in there. You're gonna be Al Snow so soon, and
so
it's all gonna be
soon.
okay. It's
So
gonna be
so
okay.
soon.
Hang in there,
Uh
buddy.
so yeah, as we know from our many sojourns into the the world of ECW, uh
hmm
Leif Cassidy will shortly be exiting the WWF within the next like couple months and go to
hmm
ECW, where he will find a head and become Al Snow, and everything will be gravy.
Everything will
Uh,
be lovely for him.
I will say Scott Putzke does have some pretty impressive like suplexes. That's basically
hmm
how he wins the match.
hmm
Um, Other than that, not that interesting as
Mm-mm.
again, first time seeing him, haven't really seen much. Athletically, sure, seems great. Other than that, just another wrestler guy. But we see a very distressed Leaf after the match, which is like the first time we've really seen any emotion.
Right.
So it was good. I enjoyed it. I was like,
He's
spaghetti-o.
transitioning.
I was like,
He's
he looked like he's
becoming.
gonna crack. And
hmm
lo and behold, he gets a running start and planches himself over the top rope, just onto Scott, and just starts beating on him,
For
and like,
fun.
just for funsies. Um, but he doesn't stop there. He climbs back in the ring, climbs on the top turnbuckle, where he gets eventually reversed by Scott and taken out of the ring again, where he is laying kind of down by the commentators table, and they're like, oh, like Leif Cassidy, like not doing so hot down here in front of us. He's like, I won. He like starts like screaming at the commentators that he won, and JR is like, but you didn't though.
You like
um
super didn't.
no, like that's weird and crazy that you're just like really having a bout of the Delulu, and like, so so he's like freaking out, and then he grabs JR like by the scruff of his shirt, and it's just like, I won. And JR's like, okay, you won. Like,
Ooh, he was like, hit the showers, buddy. Woo,
yeah,
like,
no. And then as he's like walking away, and before they turn his mic off, he's just like, what an idiot. And you're just
like,
like, okay.
and then immediate cut to commercial was so good. Jared was just like, what an idiot. Black
Yo,
screen.
yeah.
Amazing.
Amazing.
So
So
funny.
hold on, Leaf.
You're gonna
Al is
be there
coming.
soon. Yeah, Al's literally working his way out of you right now. It's happening right
I can
now.
see it. Yeah.
I can feel
Um,
it.
yeah, amazing. But that leads us right into our next match, which is the Legion of Doom taking on the Nation of Domination. So the Nation of Domination comes out. We get their lackluster entrance, as we have been getting for, well, during the pay-per-view, we had probably the laziest version of the entrance that we've
Oh,
ever gotten. It really just seemed like they took some Noto, like, I don't know, they were just like dead. They
asleep
were
at
on
the
some
wheel.
Benadryl, like, I don't know. They were just like not about it.
We
They
are
like
the
mumbled their way
nation.
through it. But this was just kind of like a, I want to say it was slightly better than that. I guess.
Yeah, it felt like one of them was really giving it their all and the other one wasn't. So brought
Right.
down the
It
vibe of the whole thing.
very,
But
very high school group project. And
yeah.
um, so the nation's all kind of like lined up, and like, so the PG-13 are just like, they're rapping, they're doing their hype man thing while they're waiting for like the nation to decide like who's going. Like, hello?
Yeah.
And Crush and Farouk are like looking at each other, and they're like, I don't know about all that. And then Crush just like points to the two idiots with the microphones, and he's just like, hmm? And so it is decided that PG-13 will be taking on the Legion of Doom, much to the dismay of uh JC Ice and Wolfie D.
No.
Crazy. That
Crazy.
I was not prepared for their names. I don't know why I assumed it would be anything better. That was on me for making such a bold assumption.
It's honestly, yeah, I'll take that L. I don't know why I expected better. Because I remember when we found out their name was PG-13, and I was like, I don't know why I kind of like that. It'd be kind of cool if one was PG and one was 13, whatever. But no, we got
JC Ice and Wolfie D.
And Ice JJ Fish, basically.
Yikes. So I will say though,
yes,
they did their job really well during this.
It was like, honestly amazing.
Was very funny. Like, obviously, like, they're sacrificial lambs. That's their whole like spiel here. But they just like the way that they sold everything was amazing. Like the way they were interacting with the Legion of Doom, like I think it was like JC Ice, like at one point is just like literally flailing, just like apps, like just flailing and like just hilariously like kicking at nothing.
Yeah.
Right before he gets his head taken off by a clothesline. But
yeah.
If this is your role, commit. And they committed. Like if this is what it is, then you take that and you run with it. And they did. And I honestly gained so much more respect for them
absolutely
than I have this entire time. Because one, they took some bumps. Like they took some bumps.
Absolutely, they did.
They got power bombed, they got clotheslined. The match ends with a double doomsday device. So they do the doomsday device on Wolfie D and then get JC Ice up and do the same thing so that JC Ice lands on top of Wolfie D just to get pinned by Hawk. And that's the end of the match. And it's just I love it when you just do the thing well. Like I love that so much because it's just like we have seen nothing other than them just being absolute nuisances. So they give them like a little bit of a personality. It's like, oh, so much relief.
Yes.
Like, thank God. There's a little bit more to them. Like
if they're gonna take off those windbreakers to reveal that pasty white skin.
Right. Like
they
give
better
me something. You better
give me something.
Right.
It's so true. And like I am 100% with you. Like I gained so much respect for them for this, and names notwithstanding, because it goes with the character. Honestly, like it's their names are so ridiculous, and they are so ridiculous, and they like deserve Emmys for the way that they sold, the way that they played with it, the way that the one kid was doing like a cartwheel at one point, and he was like, it was just so funny. Like, so funny. Like, honestly, 10 out of 10. Loved that. They've gained respect from me.
Yeah. Oh, amen. Me as well. Next, however, we get what is the most out-of-pocket commercial
this was dark
I think I've ever seen. So it cuts to, I guess, like a newlywed like couple, but it's just the wife kind of sitting in bed in like her like little satin like nightgown, and she's like ever since we got married, like I don't remember his name, really let himself go. And then it goes like it like cuts from this like cute like little wind chimey music to like literally like a like what sounds like a pig in shit, just like absolutely just slopping. And it just cuts to like
barnyard
her husband
overtones.
Barnyard overtones, correct. And it's just like him just like stuffing his face and like just like being absolutely like, I'm sorry, like you married that man? That's crazy.
Well, it was like, it was so weird. It was so weird.
And then they cut back to her in bed. She's like, but lately he's been like at like wait, what?
But first she says, so we have basically she says we haven't been intimate.
Oh,
and she literally goes, let's just say the choo-choo wasn't entering the station.
Oh, yes.
Not the choo-choo. At least train. Like Choo
Not
Choo
the
is
choo-choo.
crazy.
Choo-choo is
Like
gross.
Choo Choo is
Choo-choo.
I don't even want to say it. Like it's just so weird. Like just the train wasn't entering. Like or I don't know. Just say like you
You're
weren't
an
getting it.
adult woman.
Adult, adult married woman in your bed with your little like satin whatever, and it like was a visual of like her like rolled over in bed, and he was like grinding up and like grabbing on her, and she was like no, like
Yeah, oh my,
no.
I'm tired. Like that's crazy.
Oh,
That's
it's
crazy.
horrible. It's horrible.
Yeah, so then she goes, but lately, like he's just been seeming like irresistible. And then it just cuts to him in his like heart boxers just singing Shawn Michaels theme song and dancing.
And
And
like
we're just like,
not
okay.
well.
No, not at all. And like we're just like, oh, all right. But it continues. Like it cuts away and then goes back and he's like even more into it. And then we're just
Hmm.
like, oh, okay.
And she literally
So
goes like, I think you better go now. Like to the
right.
camera, and we're like,
Like I'm so sorry. First of all, like um
I have to watch it again. I have to go back
the
and watch it
way that
again.
they used Shawn Michaels as a personal lubricant is crazy. Like that's absolutely bonkers. And like I like who how many people like you had to cast, you had to write, you had to film, edit, and then
Choreograph.
put this TV commercial past people like producers, past like TV like people, and they
Executives
still
and stuff.
said, "Mhm,
Run it.
that's crazy.
Run it.
That's crazy." The
Right
choo
after the
choo.
LOD PG-13 match. Put that on. The choo choo is not entering the station until you put that Shawn Michaels music on, and that's
Oh
on
my god,
period.
that's crazy. Imagine
That's
only being able to have sex while Shawn Michaels
and you
music
know
is
what? I'm
playing.
sure you guys are out there, and I hope you have this is your come to Jesus moment.
Seek
Enough.
help. Don't tell us.
No, and do not share.
Don't share.
DMs closed. Do not
Le-
share.
Later, the Undertaker says something about like some secrets are better left in the dark.
And
Let's leave
that's the
that alone.
one. And that's the one. Oh my
Oh
god.
my god.
It was
So
horrible.
after that heinous affront of of a commercial, we get a promo from Mankind, who's at the top of the ring steps, and it is fantastic.
Beautiful.
He goes 4 score and several weeks ago.
Love that
Hilarious.
guy. Hysterical.
But essentially he goes on to just be like, I tried to like permanently injure the Undertaker at the Taker like revenge pay-per-view. I like did not complete my mission, and like as a result my uncle Paul got burned instead, and blah 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 blah. So he's like, Uncle Paul had something to say, but he's very self-conscious about the way he looks. And he like goes and like grabs Paul from like behind the curtain, and he is absolutely just like so bandaged,
Mm-hmm.
just all the way up. You can really only see his like mouth and eyes. Um,
And I want
and
to say this next time he needs to commit and he needs to put the white powder on his face, even if you can't see it. Because I could tell he wasn't wearing it.
what
You
do
know
you
what I mean?
mean?
When he comes out and he wears like the white
Oh,
face
yeah,
and
yeah,
the
yeah.
eyes and the whatever. Like he was like, I'm wearing a mask. I don't need to put that on. Yes, you do.
Yes, you do.
Always commit.
Yes, you
Because it took
do.
me out of it for a second. I was like, who is this? And I was like, oh yeah, it's Paul, it's Paul, it's Paul. Like, you gotta
Mm,
commit. You gotta commit. But that's
I get
fine.
that. I get that. So basically, he addresses the Undertaker, and he's like, "I'm going to give you one more chance for us to like get back together." Um, it is essentially alluded to that Paul Bearer has some dirt on the Undertaker that he has in his back pocket that he is going to expose to the world, should the Undertaker not comply with his requests, demands, whatever. Um, this is very exciting. Kelsey has no idea what's happening. For those of you at home, don't tell her. And for yeah, this is a very big, very long story that will last. Like the main part of the story will last a good chunk of this upcoming year. Um, but it is a story that will that is able to be like kind of played on for basically the rest of his career. So
I think I might know what it is, but I don't want to say.
that's fine.
I feel like, yeah, I feel like I might know what it is, but I don't want to say because one, I don't want to be wrong, and two, I don't want to like almost ruin the surprise for myself. Does that
Mhm.
make sense? Like
Yes, I
if,
get that.
yeah. Although I will say if I say something and I'm like quote unquote right or whatever, you are like poker face. Like you never give it away.
Oh, good, 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 good. I'm always worried that I'm going to. So
Yeah. And it's like tricky too because sometimes you'll just tell me things because they're not like necessarily important. And then other times you're like, mm-hmm. I'm like it's I'm like,
what is your guess? I do want to know. I won't say anything, but
okay, I think it's I think this is a thing and I'm not 100% sure. I'm new #new to wrestling. I think Undertaker has like a secret brother or something. I could be making this up. But I'm not, don't tell me. Don't tell me. Don't tell me.
hey, we're
Or
gonna
like
move on.
something because he mentioned Paul Bear mentions like I stood over the grave of your mother and father. So I was like,
Hmm.
this has to be family something. This has to be something with the family. Maybe. But I don't know.
Keep watching. It's gonna be good.
I have to. I have no choice. You hold me at gunpoint to be here every Monday.
Yes, absolutely. That's exactly what happens, everybody.
Xavier from Philly, me in New Jersey, northern New Jersey. He comes over and is like, get on that mic, bitch.
No, but I do stalk your Find My friends until I know you're home.
Honestly, thank God though, because I love that for me. Love because the way I stalk yours, I'm like, oh, he's at the stew.
At the stew.
He's
So
at the
fun.
stew.
I'm literally only at 3 locations: work, other work, or home.
Yeah,
Um
and I know all three of those locations. So I'll be like, ooh, he's at work. It's horrible.
Ah,
This is what
so
friendship is.
amen. So next we have a kind of a little promo from Farouk, or more of an interview, really. It is announced that Farouk is the #1 contender to the Undertaker's WWF Championship, which is
Crazy.
crazy.
And
Because
kind of confusing, but
right. 'Cause
I don't know how that happened, but okay.
yeah, I don't know either, but here we are. So essentially Farouk really like gives the sauce to Vince McMahon and
He
basically
do.
everyone in the WWF, and is essentially just like he like point blank asked Vince McMahon, he's like, when was the last time there was a black WWF champion? And he goes, like, Vince is like, never. And he's like, oh, when was the last time someone even like a black person even fought for the title? And he's like, I like don't recall. He's like, oh, I'll answer that for you. Never.
Never.
And basically he goes on like this whole diatribe about how black like essentially black people were not given opportunities like in the WWF specifically, and how basically goes on to be like, oh, like you don't want to see us like succeed, like you're okay seeing us in all of these various roles that help you,
Mm.
but when it's time for us to be successful, you don't want to see it, you don't want to touch it.
Hmm.
And essentially like it's weird because it's 1997, so like like me and you are like, yeah, like ugh,
Yeah,
and
like yeah,
we were
duh.
like,
Yeah.
absolutely, hello. But at the time you on commentary, Jared was like, like it's not about like race, and then Vince McMahon's like, don't you think this line of questioning is like a little racist? And you're like,
I thought you just said
um
it wasn't about race, Vince.
yeah. And then but I was like also just like, don't you think that in the however many years this has been a company that there's been no black champions is a little racist? Like,
Suspect. Yeah, like
like,
it is one of those things where it's like, and this is tricky, but it's like they really don't think there's a problem with it. But then when you like bring it up, it's like, and that's obviously very problematic. And like, how do you not know?
right.
Like, how do you not know?
Hmm.
And they literally are like, yeah, it just hasn't been presented with the opportunity when there's like plenty of people who could have been presented with the opportunity
Right.
to even have a shot at the
Yeah.
title. Like it's just like
And
a weird thing.
this whole like speech really like is all the more validated by the fact that Farouk was the first black world champion in WCW in 1992.
Which
So
was this is 1997.
7.
So
So
5 years ago.
mhm. So
Girl. Not WCW being it like ahead of ahead of the
no,
curve.
literally. But it shows like he's not speaking truth. Like
Yep.
I was like, he's obviously been in this position before,
Mm-hmm.
so it's not new to him. So even though like as a character, like Farouk is annoying AF, there was a lot of truth in this promo.
Absolutely.
A lot of truth in this promo.
Especially because it's almost like a thing where it's like you brought me here from WCW where I was the champion, and now
What?
now what?
No,
Like
what? We just don't do that here?
we just don't do
Okay.
that here. 100%. It's weird. He even and like you could tell there was a lot of truth in it, even like just beyond his character, like just from him, because he even goes, you didn't even give Ahmed Johnson a shot. Like I don't even like that guy, and he never even got a shot, and he probably
Right.
deserved one. And it's like,
Right.
oh,
And he's like, oh yeah, like you'll give like, you'll give us a like secondary like title for like a little bit, but like,
mm-hmm.
you know,
But also like you took that title from Ahmed Farouk.
oops.
Ooh.
But
So
yeah,
that's a little weird, but yeah, I
um,
mean, lots of truth, big
mhm,
fat
mhm.
truths in that.
So that's a feud that is apparently just starting. We'll see how that goes. We'll see what that turns into. We know how a lot of the nation feuds typically go, but
Mm,
um, they're not messing with no run of the mill. So we'll see how that goes.
hmm
Because Taker is not unfamiliar with being outnumbered because typically people got to come in droves to take this man
To
down.
take him down, it's true. It's very
um,
true.
so next we have Savio Vega taking on the Undertaker. I just every time Savio comes out, it just cracks me up because he just doesn't look that mean. There's just something
Yeah.
about like he just looks like he's playing pretend, like he's just being like grr, like
Yeah. Like he literally looks like he's about to laugh. He's just
at,
like,
at all times. Yeah. So and Kelsey made a good point. She's like, I miss his music, and I was
I
like, yeah,
do. We when
uh,
he came out, we'd be like, turn
it's so
up. I
fun.
love
Yeah,
Savio Vega. And he was just always running in, saving
I
people.
know what
He
that's
was
the
my
gag is that like he was always like the defender of justice, and then
yeah.
all of a sudden he was just like, oh, just kidding.
He's like, now I'm over here.
Hmm.
Yeah, I do miss him. I do.
Um, the Undertaker is basically essentially owning a lot of this match. The Undertaker is a WWF champion for sure. We know this.
Mm-hmm.
Savio Vega does still have the best spinning heel kick alive. He performs one, and just the height he gets to reach the Undertaker's face
It's
is
crazy.
is crazy. Because he's just a little Puerto Rican guy. So like, God
Mm.
bless. Um, so Savio essentially starts attacking the knee that Stone Cold had worked on the night prior. Very, very smart strategy on his part. Um, the Nation, of course, gets involved.
hmm
They like try and get involved like sporadically throughout the match. But it doesn't stop the Undertaker from performing a choke slam and then the tombstone on Savio. He goes in for the pin, and that's when the entire nation swarms as they do, and they attack him so much so that like he like they attack him, stop, he like sits up, and then they like attack him again, and you're like, oh Jesus, here we are.
Here we go.
uh so we'll see how this feud progresses,
Yeah.
or what it kind of like turns into,
Mm.
just
I do want.
because.
Oh, sorry. Go
What?
ahead.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say I do want to point out too that Savio Vega at one point got real creative and choked the Undertaker with his own hair.
Oh yeah, that was pretty cool.
Wild
Like, yeah,
behavior.
he was on like he was sitting on like the top turnbuckle, and the Undertaker was like in the corner with him. He just
And he
takes
just
the
was like
Undertaker's hair and just starts like wrapping it around his neck and just starts like garroting him, which is crazy.
really crazy. I was like, I have never seen that before. That's
Hmm,
wild.
hmm, hmm.
You gotta do what
So,
you gotta do with Taker.
amen. So next is Rob Van Dam taking on Jeff Hardy. This is so fun.
Rob, they'll
So
never make me hate you.
no, honestly. So, um, during this whole time period, Jerry has made an appearance in ECW. We've had a lot of back and forth between the two. So the ECW guys that showed up a few times in 1996.
Mm-hmm.
Um, on Monday Night Raw, they got to advertise their first pay-per-view. We had an
Mm-hmm.
ECW Raw debate with Jerry and Paul.
Mm-hmm.
So this has been like an ongoing thing. So in the most recent of times, Jerry has gone over to ECW, and essentially what he has done is like recruited Rob Van Dam to be like on his side. Because Rob Van Dam, if you know his kind of like character in ECW, is very well, he's like super chill. That's his whole spiel always. But
Yeah.
he's very much so like, I am the best thing in ECW. Like, for sure. Like, you pay
Mm-hmm.
to see me. I am Mr. Pay-per-view. Blah 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 blah. That's what he calls himself in ECW, like Mr. Pay-per-view.
Yes. And he's like, I go where the money goes. I really have no loyalty to anything.
Right.
Love that about
He's like,
him.
I'm looking out for numero uno. So Jerry cuts a little promo calling it like extremely crappy wrestling. Rob's on like Team Jerry essentially. And then he calls him Mr. Monday Night, which is a moniker that will follow Rob Van Dam pretty much until he throughout his time in ECW, and then when he actually returns to the WWEF, he still uses it. So it's just something that carries with him for the rest of the time. And essentially, this is just Jeff Hardy getting absolutely owned by Rob Van Dam.
Yeah, he really took a
This is
lot.
not the Jeff Hardy that we all, excluding Kelsey here in this,
I was
we
like,
all
this is
know
the
and
Jeff
love.
Hardy I know.
This is like a very, very young, these are early day jobber Jeff Hardy. So he's
so
like still
cute.
wearing tights, his hair isn't dyed, it's a whole thing.
Oh yeah, because he has like a complete transformation at some point.
Yeah, him and his brother come in as a tag team together.
Right.
But yeah, I love Jeff Hardy, as we know.
Yeah.
So
Have we talked about the fact that I didn't know that that's what that was and you didn't tell me?
no, I think we did. Like,
It was either on like this show or the other one, but yeah, I was like, literally, we've been friends since the flood, and I was like, what is that? And you were like, it's a cool design. And then like on the episode, I was like, oh, that's the Hardy Boys.
yeah.
Right. We're all finding out things in real time.
Yeah, no, amen. So that was it was a cool little tidbit to see, kind of little baby Jeff Hardy. That's kind of
I
cool.
love that guy.
And you can kind of tell like who he is. Like, he oversold already. Like, you already know who he is, just based on like this. You can kind of tell there's like something there. The way the guy sells is just
Yeah.
Rob Van Dam hits the 5-star the 5-star frog splash, and then
Which is
follows it up with a split-legged moonsault, which is absolutely insane.
insane. What is that? How does he do that? I literally saw it and I was like, and Xavier was like taking notes and I like shrieked probably and he was like, oh, what, the split leg moonsault? And I was like, don't act like that's normal. Don't act like that's like a normal day but I guess it is for him. It
For
is.
Rob, it
He's
is a
like
normal day.
he is so spry. It's actually crazy. Like I legitimately think his toes are little springs and he just boing, 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 boing. He's spinning and jumping and wee. Like he is always acts like he has ingested the star from Mario.
LOL.
And he's like, do, 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 do,
That's
do,
actually
do, do, do,
amazing.
do, 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 do. Like, but he's so chill about it because you're just like, nothing can hit me. I'm like, I'm impervious. Like, that's always Rob Van Dam.
So we'll see where that story progresses. Very interested to see. I might have to go and do a little bit of research on the ECW side and see,
Thank God,
where this story, like how much of this story we might be able to get into. So let me go in, do a little research, see where we're at.
I love when you do research. So
next next we have what you would call it. Next we have a second part to the Goldust. I wrote it down as a Goldust expose.
Yeah.
But Kelsey, if you want to take it away, I was too busy reading his Wikipedia page while this was happening. So
Yeah, which is my favorite thing to do, but I try not to about the wrestlers that I'm still watching because I don't want any spoilers. But honestly, this is gonna sound mean. I don't think we needed a part 2.
I don't think we needed a part 2 either.
I don't think we needed
it was
a part
just a really
2.
drawn out part 1, is what I gathered.
Fully okay, yeah. The only thing that was cute and like maybe meaningful, was meaningful, was he talked about how his daughter imitates Goldust when he comes out, and that's what he used to do with his father. But again, this
It was
might
really
be
just like daddy trauma.
Thank
like...
you. That's what I was gonna say. This might be a read, but it was him airing out his daddy issues, and I respect that. Like, listen, we all have our crosses to bear, but I don't like. I didn't need to. And also, like Terry sitting there, Marlena, and like she didn't get a word in, like, and she's just like, this girl,
right. I don't know.
like,
I just
I don't
like,
know.
yeah, it's fine. It's fine, but we like it's the thing is like we already addressed them in the last thing, so it's fine to like address them, like sure, but like I don't think we needed to like quite unpack all of your daddy issues like
Right.
as thoroughly as we did.
And the thing
Like,
is, I don't even think we really unpacked it because it felt like just the same information. Just like I haven't spoken to my dad and I hope he's proud of me because I'm proud of myself. That was like
right,
the same thing that happened last time.
right.
Which is all well and good. Again, I'm so happy for you. So happy for you and the character that you built and the life that you built and your family and whatever. And like that's
Hmm.
awesome. I just don't think I needed to hear it reiterated again, just with different words.
Right,
Same
right. And
sentiment.
a single teardrop.
And a single teardrop. Just
Right, which they made sure to use for the commercial break.
absolutely.
So okay, we'll see. I want to see Goldust in the ring, but
I want to see him fight.
yeah, thank you. Next, Taker comes out. Doesn't come out. He comes onto the Titantron from question mark. Some kind of very small room.
I literally was like,
Uh,
he's in the attic with me. Like
because
he
he,
was
yeah,
literally like this.
yeah, no, like as if he's in a Madonna music video, just like
Love.
and so
Camera up.
no,
Just
yeah, fully like telling ghost stories. And basically he addresses Paul Bear. He's like what I alluded to earlier. He's like some secrets are better left in the dark. And then he goes and addresses Farouk, and he's like, I don't win as far as like his like physical state. He's like, I don't win like 95% of my matches like physically. I was like, I mentally like beat people up, and you're like hot. Um,
so hot. I was just like
and then he goes into just being like, oh, I'm gonna do something I haven't like ever had to do. He's gonna have to like reach into his like, what did he call it? His
the vault
soul,
of
the
souls.
vault of souls, and unleash a demon to help me like take down a nation or whatever. And I was like,
I
that is amazing. What do you need?
amazing.
What?
I'm actually very thrilled by this development because as far as I know the Undertaker, like yes, like he makes the lights go out. He's a spooky. But the craziest like Undertakery thing that's like happened was probably like the buried alive like lightning strike and he just like like comes out.
Mhm.
But like recently he hasn't like really referenced the like he's like undead or like the dead
Right,
man. Like it hasn't been, which is fine because I love him regardless.
right,
But I like that he's kind of leaning back into like, no, I'm also like I'm gonna go into the Vault of Souls and like get a demon. That's also what I do.
right, right,
Love.
right, right,
Like
right.
love that. I
Like,
needed more of that in my life.
no,
Like
100%. Little did I know.
little
Like,
did I know word famous last words, didn't know. But here we
mm,
are. Here we are.
amen. So again, very excited to see this whole thing pan out
Hmm.
with Paul Bear. Also, I mean, I assume just based on it being the Undertaker that it will be a good match.
Duh.
Farouk and the Undertaker. How long the match will be before the entire nation gets involved is my only like you know what I mean? I feel like we
Yes.
can I have not gotten a single Farouk match that showcased Farouk. Um because
True.
every match showcases the nation.
Yes,
So,
that's very true. Also, we did see an Undertaker Farouk match a
hmm.
while ago, and I remember we were like, they have like no chemistry together. I
Hmm.
remember that being like, this is the first time I've actually noticed that they don't, there was like a lot of
They're not
stop starts.
jiving.
Yeah, so hopefully, I'm assuming if they're bringing it back, the
Right.
chemistry is hopefully improving or something. But yeah, that's such a
Hmm.
good point. Like, I really don't have a full grasp of who Farouk is even as a wrestler because
Hmm.
it's always like, get in here with that chair. Help me
Right.
out.
Right.
So
Right.
true.
And so after that promo, we get right into the four-way tag team elimination match. So that's the Hart Foundation's Phil where am I going? Phil LaFon and Doug Furness, the new Blackjacks, and the Headbangers. So
Hmm.
this one was as these matches are. I love them. They're chaotic.
I don't feel
So
like they go on long enough. Like maybe
no.
that's just me. I feel like they get down to two so quickly. And it's
So
like I
quickly.
feel like there could be so much more mayhem. Like and maybe that's wrong of me.
Yes, but I feel like this was also very for time because we had another segment after
That
this.
I hate well, it's yeah, I hate that because
So,
I just feel like there could be so much silly geese behavior in this where it's
hmm,
like I said, the last time because the last time they did this it was very short too. Like everyone was out almost immediately.
yeah,
And it was like you could tag in the same guy on the same team. Like that's funny. They never do that where it's like
right.
let's tag both of them. And maybe it happened to Headbangers like one time,
They
but
yeah, it happened to the Headbangers. They like moshed and then they tagged other people.
which
Uh,
love, like let's
right.
do that or something. I don't know. I just feel like it immediately two teams and I was like, and then we should have just done that from the rip. I don't know.
Honestly, just done a tag team match.
Yeah.
So uh Furnace and LaFon get eliminated by the new Blackjacks. Pretty much like opening like 3 minutes of the match, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
And then it cuts to like a commercial break, and then we come back from the commercial break and find out that Phil LaFon, big pissed about the him being eliminated, waits for the headbangers to essentially be like jumping on the Blackjacks, or the Blackjacks was like carrying one of the headbangers, trips him from underneath the ring ropes, and holds down the Blackjack's foot so that they get pinned and eliminated.
Mm.
Thus kind of continuing the heel turn of Furnace and LaFon. I'm gonna stop saying both of their full names.
Yeah, I actually stopped writing their full names too, because I was literally writing Doug, Furnace, and Philip
No,
LaFon, and now I'm just
same.
like Furnace and LaFon. Furnace
Furnace
and
and
LaFon.
LaFon.
Yeah.
Like Phineas and Ferb. Phineas and Ferb.
Phineas and
Um,
Ferb.
uh, um, so yeah, so then those two teams are eliminated. I will say this was a good match for the Headbangers. I think it did a
Yes.
good job putting them on par with the tag team champions,
Mm-hmm.
because they are the newest of all of these teams. So I think they fared well against the tag team champions generally. I thought they looked good.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, other than that though, there wasn't anything like super of note in the match other than the Headbangers like outfit. Um which was
Mm-hmm.
hilarious because one of them, I think it was Mosh, from here up, I would say like Matilda, and then from here down was the Wicked Witch of the East.
Yep. Yeah,
um
we were joking. It was like, okay, I had Wicked recital at 6, wrestling in a four-way tag team match at 8, and
right.
that's the costume I have to wear.
No, 100%. It just cracked me up. I love their fits.
Yeah.
But the Bulldog performs a power slam on one of them and pins them, even though neither the Bulldog or that person that got pinned, Mosh or Thrasher, couldn't tell you,
We're like
weren't
the
legal.
legal. Yeah, because I wrote it, I was like, I finally distinguished which one was which at one point. But so it was Bulldog and Owen win, and Bulldog pins Thrash,
Right.
but Owen and Mosh were the legal
Competitors.
men in the,
Yeah.
or the, yeah, competitors in the thing. But
And
somehow they win
and
anyway.
JR like calls it out, which I think is just hilarious because
Love.
really he should just kind of like let it go.
Because
Um
it was a mistake. It wasn't like an FU,
yeah.
like they can do, the Heart Foundation can do whatever they want.
No,
It
it
was like
was
just an actual mistake.
right. Um yeah, JR was just like, neither of them were legal, but I guess it doesn't matter. And like just goes on
JR's
like,
like, far be it from me to be wrong. Like,
right. Oh, God bless.
I'm not being roped into this shenanigan.
Oh my gosh. And then we get our final segment, which is Bret Hart, and then and the Hart Foundation comes out, and then he feels the need to send them all back, which I think is
Ugh.
just come out alone then. But I mean, I guess you couldn't get in the ring without help.
He
But
basically
whatever.
needed like a palanquin, and like they like, or like
Yes.
a thing, and they just bring him, drop him, and leave. Or
Hmm.
like bring the druids back. Have the druids carry the
Oh
chair
my
and carry the
goodness.
chair in.
The Druids and Bret Hart.
Have the druids carry Brett in.
So essentially he addresses Stone Cold very quickly, and he's like, you stay back there wherever you are because I just sent all my lions back there, and the second you show your face, they will be on you. So he's like, so you just stay where you are, as if that has ever been a deterrence to Stone Cold Steve Austin, literally ever.
Literally, he's like, "Oh, that's where they are. Okay, thanks for letting me know."
No, fully. He's
Like,
like duly noted. Um,
drop
so
drops pin location.
yo, 100%. So essentially, Bret Hart calls out Shawn Michaels. Shawn Michaels comes out looking good as always.
Duh.
And Bret Hart gives us no new
Oh
information.
my God, it's horrible. I'm
It
so
is
sorry.
essentially just Bret Hart trying to like verbally like undress Shawn Michaels, but it's just like it's just not hitting because it's like you lauded this whole big shocking secret thing, and then you're giving us nothing. You know,
Nothing.
like
Oh my
it'd be one thing
God.
if you just came out and did this, sure. Um, weird and random, yeah, but sure.
Mm-hmm.
But you literally went out and been like, you're gonna be so surprised and shocked and blah, and like you did this whole rigmarole of like hyping us all up for this, just to come out and give us the. We know why you don't like Sean. We know.
We got
It's
it.
duly noted. You could watch
Yeah.
maybe 3 separate episodes where you say the exact same thing about Shawn
Mm-hmm.
Michaels. Like, we
Yep.
know why you don't like him. Like,
We
I get
got
it.
it. Mm-hmm.
What is new? What is the new development?
I'm
Like, did you just
saying.
call him out here to have the same conversation? Because that's crazy. I was like, he
And
doesn't
make
need
to
it.
make him stand there too is crazy.
Right.
He's like, just stand here while I say the same things I've been saying to you for the last X amount of years.
And mind you, Sean the entire time is just like not breaking eye contact. He's just like letting Brett do his thing. He's like, I'm gonna let you talk, but like, what is this essentially? Like, he's just like
It was
staring at
crazy.
him, and like, and mind you, he looked good. He got like his hair
So
is like falling down. He's just like, and you're like,
he
oh my
needs to give what's his name some conditioning advice.
amen. Whoever
They
is
need
like,
to talk. They need to talk.
so but essentially the episode does end during that segment. You see the little thing in the corner where it's like WWF like
Copyright,
1997 blah
la
blah
la
blah
la.
blah.
Yeah.
That is the last whatever like um thing that you see before the television show cuts. Um, so what we saw at the tail end, if you notice, there was no commentary. That was just recorded after. That was not part of the live show. Um, so
Oh.
that's why I'm like, oh, what we got was just because of like edited in after. That wasn't like what was presented on television. So because everybody at home just saw them arguing, like Brett just yelling at Sean, and then the little thing comes on, and then that's it. So what ends up happening is it like the episode like fades black. It cuts back in. Bret Hart is standing up from his wheelchair, essentially just being like, I know you want to hit me, but like you're too much of a coward to, and which is crazy
So stupid.
because you were literally just like, what kind of man would pick on a man in a wheelchair? And now you're out here just being like, hit me. And you're like, what is it? What is the truth?
So no, so
Um,
confusing.
and Shawn Michaels just rears back and sweet chin musics his ass right into his chair. He said,
And
right in his chair, right out of his chair. It was amazing. It
let the
was
congregation say amen. Shut that man up. I'm so
like
sorry. I am so sorry.
I love Bret Hart, but what was
Love.
this?
Shut
What was
up.
this?
Okay, I just want to say too, I clocked how long it was. It was like 4.5 minutes of nonstop just and another thing. You posed in that girly magazine. Like, okay, grandpa, like
Like,
calm
we get no,
down.
he fully just
Oh
sounded
God.
like he was talking about Shawn Michaels the way everybody else talks about millennials. And
Yeah.
I can't. I was just like, first of all, y'all have no concept of the age of millennials. Millennials are like 40 now, first of all. So
I'm like,
let's
whoa, calm down.
when
I'm
we're
just kidding.
like
I'm kidding.
I was like, no. I mean, like the oldest of our generation
Yeah,
is
yeah.
like our 40. So like this notion that we're all just like a bunch of like 20-year-olds just like fucking up the world is crazy. So like we need to like move on and grow up. But
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
what
yeah.
exactly what Bret Hart sounds like.
No,
It's just
fully.
like
It's so
you
true.
dance around and you have tattoos and
Earrings.
piercings,
Yeah.
and you're just like, okay, and
Ooh. Ooh.
ooh, like you're just
Like
like, dude, like this cannot be the reasons. Like this can't
this
be it.
this
Like
can't be the basis of the beef. It really outraged
100%.
me.
And I was like, and first of all, and then he's still going on about that WrestleMania 12 loss. Like that didn't
Mama.
happen over 2 years ago. Like, get a grip, man. Get a grip.
Swear to God, that wheelchair is giving you too much time to think.
No,
Too
100%.
much time to think about, like, to wax poetic. This outraged me, seriously. I was like, because again, love Bret Hart, but what, like, first of all, you edge me with a surprise in the beginning, then I don't get it. And
Right.
then at the end, this is what I'm thinking. I'm like, okay, you're gonna give it to us anyway. Cool, love a surprise. Like, let's like get into this. And then you go on so long and so slowly with nothing new or interesting that the episode literally ends. If I was watching this at that time, I would have done like that thing where like men just like throw the remotes or like punch the
through the
wall
TV.
or
Yeah, yeah,
something.
yeah.
Like,
He was like,
actually,
no.
your brother said today, he said, we
My
might have to
brother.
cut this. Yeah, we might have to cut this. He was like, I wish I could do that, like, that like straight white man thing and just punch through the wall and get away with it. Because why can't I do that? It's like, it's so true.
I'm
It's
not
so
cutting
true.
that.
Okay, he goes, yeah, why can't we just like do that and just like punch straight through the wall and get away with it? Like, I want to vent my rage that way. And I was like, you're not wrong. And that, like, that's what it made me feel. I would be outraged if it ended with him just still talking.
Right.
And you brought
Nothing.
Shawn Michaels out. First of all, it took 12 minutes for the Heart Foundation to actually leave when you asked them to. Like, get out. You know the vibes. Get out.
Right.
And then now, and it took you another additional 12 minutes for Shawn Michaels to finally give you Sweet Chin Music because you won't stop wheezing into this microphone. I'm livid.
Amen.
And if I missed it because you were taking that long and I didn't get to see it until God only knows when, like the recap on next week, I would be so pissed. I'd be so pissed.
So yeah, so that we got a whole lot of nothing out of that promo. I mean, it was nice to see him get kicked in the mouth, but other than that, like that was really it. No surprise. No surprise.
Yeah.
No
No,
surprises.
but then Shawn Michaels runs for his life, which is really funny.
Which is phenomenal. So of course
I've never in my life.
After Shawn kicks Brett, all of the Heart Foundation comes out, and I have never seen one man evade 4 people so well in my entire life.
Yeah.
That he was ducking, diving in the ring, out of the ring, under the ropes, through the ropes. Like he was everywhere. And that's how you know this man is just like dumb athletic, because like he was in like loafers first of all, and is out pacing 4 dudes, and you're just like, this is crazy.
I was gonna say if he wasn't wearing those loafers, he would have 100% gotten away with it. I would have gotten away with it if it weren't for you meddling loafers, for real.
Literally,
and like he was just boing 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 in dress pants and loafers. He lost a shoe. That's how committed he was to the bit. He lost a shoe, and then he got beat up on the ramp. Crazy. For his crimes.
So they eventually catch him and they're beating up on him, obviously. At one point, the British Bulldog has Shawn Michaels just up overhead. He's at the top of the ring ramp, the like main part of the stage. He looks like he's about to just like yeet Shawn like over the edge, when Stone Cold Steve Austin with Brett's crutch comes in and saves the day. He starts swinging on everybody. There was this like one little exchange where like Stone Cold like passes Shawn and he like looks at him and he's like, and like it's just those moments where it's like, I don't trust you worth a damn, but like I have bigger fish to fry. And like like, and then there's like another moment later where like Shawn is like looking over his shoulder to see if Stone Cold's gonna like hit him with the crutch. So there's just like I love it. I love that they hate each other, but they have a bigger common enemy, so they are forced to be together.
It's very enemies to lovers coded.
Very much so, except we'll never get lovers.
We'll never get it. They're gonna just like
they're just gonna remain
till the day I die.
Yeah, they're just gonna remain enemies,
and that's okay.
Yeah, it's like Merlin.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
I am referencing the BBC show Merlin,
and the not aggressive, but the very obvious homosexual undertones.
Yes, that ran through that show for 5 seasons, so much so that like we know the story. Like we know Arthur and Guinevere are a thing. Didn't want it.
Didn't care.
I wanted nothing to do with it. That lore, that plot, useless.
Give us the real tea.
Give me what I want.
No, that show was so crazy. Like, just kiss. You're so close. Tension crazy.
So that has been another episode of the New to Wrestling podcast. Thank you.
There were so many tangents. We hoped you stuck with us because it was
honestly. So if you missed last week, we just put out one episode due to the lost episode. It is our After Dark episode on Yokozuna. Definitely check that out. That is a really fascinating one. And stay tuned for After Dark this week, because we are going to do our first kind of like I guess themed episode. We're going to do like a pride highlight on the one and only Pat Patterson. We're going to watch the My Way documentary that's on Peacock, and we're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about his life, his contributions. I may also throw in a little tidbit, either a match or something, just because the only context you have for Pat Patterson is as a much older gentleman,
in like sweaters, like ripping people apart, like when they start
right.
to fight.
So,
Yeah, it's true.
So I might try and find something, so you can kind of see where it all comes from.
The origin story.
Yeah.
Wow, what a thrill.
But thank you guys, and we will catch you next week.
We'll see you there.
Bye.
Bye.